Damn straight I did.
Yo, that is so cringeworthy.
I've been following him since he was young, too young to go into a bar. I'm all right giving him a piece of chocolate. I'm all right with that.
You know the drill, yeah?
How are you, sir? Yeah, I'm good, thank you.
I did like your tweet. I tried to reply, but the Wi-Fi died. You put out about no, it was something about British footballers. But it came just after Canadian.
Yeah. Yeah, we were looking. I was looking at the UK versus the rest of the world.
Yeah. I thought the timing of that wasn't lost on me. You're good, are you? How you doing, buddy? Cool. Yeah. How's it going, mate? It's been quiet.
There's a bit of level for you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Give me the thumbs up when it's all good for you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Testing the level check. Level check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yes, yes, yes. I'll keep going until I get the thumbs up. 1, 2, oh, thank you. Cool.
Just trying to help.
Okay. It's actually very helpful. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. All right. Keep going. I'll just keep going. 1, 2, 1, 2. Yep. Okay. That's a thumbs up. Thank you. You guys all right? 1 second. All right. I'll keep going for you. It may be louder or quieter than this, we don't know, but I'll try and get this in this ballpark. Okay, well, a few more words for you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, yes, yes. A few more words for you. Okay, yes. How's it going? Yep, happy there? Everyone good? All right.
He's like literally Jimmy Mano's biggest cheerleader. It was mad. It was like the most crazy thing was it. But then in front of me at BT, it was like loads of guys that were fucking crazy off that. It was like fucking wild pistol match race, man. It's like people drinking beer.
Good evening, everybody, and thank you for being here this evening at UFC London. The gate tonight was $2.028 million USD. The attendance was a sellout crowd for 16,274. The bonuses, fight of the night, went to Manawa and Jan Blachowicz, and the performance bonuses go to Paul Craig and Volkov. Any questions from the crew here tonight? Yes, sir.
Quite rare for England to kind of get two events in the same year. We've got Liverpool coming up. Was that decision made purely because of Darren Till, or were there other factors that were taken into consideration there?
Definitely a number of factors. A prevailing and leading factor was absolutely that Till was available. And so quite frankly, I mean, he was very interested in competing there. He'd been very vocal about it in the past. Dana was also very interested to have that event in Liverpool. The way we typically operate is we've got to have a number of options, right? We've got a lot of considerations, whether it's other sports properties, the time of year, what's happening in that city. And for us, it made the most sense to get to Liverpool. We've been thinking about it honestly for, I don't know, 4 or 5 years at least. And this seemed to be one of those scenarios where the stars aligned and it made sense to go. So we're thrilled. We're going to have an opponent for Till likely in the next, I don't know, week or so. Yeah, we're thrilled to be going there.
Obviously, you know, Irish fans are a little bit disappointed that they're not going to get a Dublin card at the moment, but is there potential to actually still hold that Dublin card later this year?
There's definitely the potential to hold Dublin card later this year. It may or may not happen. We haven't actually worked out our final schedule for the back half of the year. Always on the short list. I mean, what a number of people in that community have done to build up mixed martial arts is very impressive, most notably obviously Connor and what he's done. So it's always on the list. I hope we get back there soon, but just nothing's concrete yet.
And just following up there, when do you think you will have the European schedule ready to announce for the remainder of 2018?
So there's a couple things at play. I think we will likely be able to announce our third date probably in the next month or so. We've got a bunch of different options. I mean, we talked about wanting to get to continental Europe again. Maybe Germany. We're not sure. Definitely back to definitely on the list to get back to Scandinavia at some point soon. And then we're working hard on a few other different territories. So to answer your question specifically, I think at least in the next month or so we'll have the third date for Europe. Thank you. Yes, sir.
Just wondering if anyone's spoken to Michael Bisping since the announcement of the UFC Liverpool card. Is there any, desire to have him on there with Darren Till?
Yeah, I mean, that'd be kind of nice, in my opinion. I mean, so I haven't spoken to Bisping. I'm not sure if anyone has. I assume, Dana or maybe Sean Shelby has. I think with Bisping, listen, he's, pioneer of the sport in this country, fantastic champion. He's a guy that kind of deserves to go out on his own terms. I think he's probably got maybe he's got a short list of people that he wants to compete against. There's been a lot of talk about Rockhold, a lot of talk about Weidman. I don't really know. It seems like there's probably a few options for him in the next 6 months. Whether he's on Liverpool or not, I think it'll be a good celebration of his career.
Do you know when we know about any of the other fights that are going to be on the UFC Liverpool card? Can we expect some more announcements very soon?
I don't right now. I think we've got a few slated. I think if you think about what happens when there's certain people that don't necessarily don't make weight, or if there's a medical issue of some kind, typically we try to slate those or slot those fights in at some point very soon. So we'll likely have a good mix of local stars, local heroes, and some global stars to help us out. But yeah, I mean, at some point soon. I think this has all happened in the last 4 or 5 days, so we don't have anything concrete to explain right now.
Yeah, just to follow up on that, Nat Narimani was brought in very late for this card, and unfortunately, about an hour before fight night, his fight got pulled. Can we expect Nat to get another opportunity? Is that going to happen?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. We'll take care of him financially, and he'll get a shot at another bout at some point very soon.
I was actually just going to touch on that. Kind of an odd situation with the bout, called off. Can you give us an update on Nasrat and kind of what happened, what the decision was made there, and also if you can share what financial decisions were made for both fighters?
So on the financial part, not disclosing what we're doing, but we're definitely taking care of them. And I think, I talked to Shelby earlier, and he's trying to get them in as soon as possible. They've obviously gone through a lot, preparing for tonight, with their families and their camps and all the training. So we want to make sure that they get in as soon as possible. Medical issue, I think, between our medical teams, Chef Nowitzki, a variety of people that we have on staff, we want to make sure our fighters are obviously healthy and ready to go. And there was a situation where, we just deemed him to be unfit to compete, and that's why it was called off last minute.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Or UFC official, that's always a good one.
Questions?
Leon, the first thing you did after the fight was over was you said you wanted Till in Liverpool. Is that a publicity stunt, or is that really what you want?
That's really what I want. Like I said before, I've beaten top-ranked guys, like better guys at Till fought and they come up. Somehow they leapfrog me to get the Jonas Cerrone fight. So it is what it is. I feel I'm the number one welterweight in the world. You think he's the number one welterweight in the world, so let's prove it. Coming, was it May? In May in Liverpool, then go from there.
Talk about the performance tonight. Yeah, you left it a little bit late. Was that the game plan 1 second ago?
Well, coming into this camp, the last 2 or 3 weeks I've been ill. I had chicken pox for like 10 days, so I've been like bed bound for 10 days, and so I knew coming in that it would be a slow start, and well, it's all good. It's all good. I got the finish. Right, 7 out of 10 performance, but it is what it is. I got the finish and got the win, and I'm on a 5-5 win streak now. Top 15 in the world, so life is good.
Last question, if it's not Till, are you looking for somebody in the top 10 next?
Yeah, 100%, 100%. Like I said, 5-5 win streak. There's not many guys that's in the welterweight division that's in a 5-5 win streak, so 100%. If not till, I'll push for the July card, DC Stipe, in Vegas, get to fight in the States. So yeah.
Last time when you were coming off your win, you said about wanting to fight again in the States and to get a top 10. You obviously didn't get that this time round. Obviously, if you don't get the Liverpool card, you said about Vegas interests you. Do you think fighting in Vegas on a big card like that will get you the kind of the attention that you're after in terms of being recognised in the division?
Yeah, 100%. Like I said, I've never lost in Europe, so I like fighting here anyway. The crowd is amazing there, but I feel I've taken my talent now to the States. These guys won't come over, top 10 guys. They refuse to come over to the UK to fight me, so I feel I have to go to the States and hunt them down and try to get a fight there. So my next fight, if not till, I'll go to the States in July and push for a top 10 guy there.
And you said in your post-fight quote as well about training with Danny Roberts and getting him to come and train with you at UTC. Can you kind of elaborate a little bit about what you're talking about?
Danny mentioned it to me that he wanted to come over and get some work in because we're doing good things there in Birmingham. So I said you're more than welcome. I'm just trying to prove to these guys that you have to travel to the States, you have to travel to here and there to try to improve yourself. You've got everything that you need here, especially in Birmingham. You've got top ranked guys, top fighters in Birmingham. And the proof's in the pudding. I'm on a 5-fight win streak. I'm doing good. My little brother is doing good. Tom Breeze is up in May as well. So life is good. I'm just trying to show everyone else that you don't have to travel to try to prove that the UK can't wrestle or whatever. So life's good.
Liam, what is it in Darren's game that you see that makes you feel so confident that you're the guy to take him out?
Well, from what I've seen, Darren is good on his front foot. He's only good when he's coming forward. When you back him up, he's not as good. I've never seen him on his back, so I'll test that out as well. But I feel like I got that and I'll beat him. He's a standard Thai boxing style. He comes forward, guard wide, and there's nothing that's amazing to me when I watch Till. So everyone else is like think he's the second coming of God, but I don't. That's all.
Do you think it's about time that you got some of this attention? He's getting promos, he's getting his own event. Do you want some of this?
I'm not here, I don't care. Like, fair play to the man, So, I'm not, fair play to him, I don't care.
Excellent.
Good? Thank you.
Thank you, folks.
Because he's taking everything I've worked for, motherfucker. That's what he's saying. Label up a video UFC official.
Renee.
What's the name of the UFC official at the start of the press conference?
Yeah.
What's his title?
So
is like head of international and also content. Let me give you a big sound. I won't say the wrong word.
Hi everybody.
Congratulations on the victory this evening. Certainly a difficult fight, maybe not as easy as some might have thought. How did you feel about your performance this evening?
Tough fight. The guy is strong, ready, well prepared, good chin. Honored to fight against him. He was very, very, very ready, and he gave me a lot of problems, and it forces me to be even better for the next fight. But, I think I did the job well. I won that fight. I really do think. But that was a close fight, though.
It looked like the leg bothered you a couple of times. So were there any issues either coming into the fight with your leg, or was it just his kicks?
What do you mean?
Like, it looked like maybe you stumbled a little bit, the leg buckled a little bit a couple of times.
Oh no, it's because I'm very, very flexible, so I kind of lose my balance sometimes.
And you said that you felt comfortable. I mean, a lot of people were saying, hey, this fight was closer. The 30-27 definitely was a little bit bizarre. But did you know at the end that you'd done enough to win?
Yeah, close fight, but I definitely think I won that fight.
Hola. Well done. A tough fight tonight. Were you expecting a 3-round war, or are you disappointed that you couldn't find a finish? How happy are you with the performance and all?
You always have to talk with your coach right after the fight and see what went good and what went wrong, and that's exactly what we're doing right now. We had already a discussion with my coach. Glad for certain things, but I'm more focused on the things I didn't do well, so I'm focused on it in order to be better for the next fight.
Is it a case that you go straight back into the gym, look for another fight fairly quick, or are you going to take a little bit of time, look at the footage, and iron out the mistakes?
Yeah, a little bit of vacation, maybe 10 or 15 days, I think, on the Greek islands. I need to finish my first book concerning my first MMA preparation, so it will be released soon in France, so I have to finish that, and right after I will be back at training and focusing on all the things from that fight.
Hey Tom, you know you're one of a bunch of fighters that are either from France or have a French background. Can you give us an update on what is going on in France at the moment in terms of the legalization of MMA and what perhaps you and others like you can help to kind of speed things along there?
Actually, with the changing of government, with the Macron government, it's a new government, young people over there, it's actually our best way to get it legalized. Things are moving in a positive way. I work with the UFC hand-to-hand through seminars and conferences to help develop it, so giving the good image of MMA, but not a good image, the good image, because all the values, you know, MMA has been a sport that helps me to improve my life, an elevator, a social elevator, and that was the occasion for me to realize all my dreams that I have since the very beginning. So I'm trying through seminars to explain this to people, and sometimes you go to the really deep in France, and you can see people like a Sunday afternoon in the middle of nowhere. They are 100 to come to my seminars. It's getting huge. We are a land of martial arts. You can see our level in judo, in boxing, everywhere. The Olympics, we are always on top, you know. So it will come, but it's still a power struggle. And as it is administration things, it always takes a while.
And when we spoke earlier on the week, you said it was just pure circumstance because of when this fight was booked for London that you actually stayed in Paris to train. Is the plan to eventually get back out to Jackson Wink in Albuquerque?
Yes, we will see. So that time the fight was announced when I was in Paris, so that was the occasion for me to explore striking, because we have definitely a high level in France on Savati, Muay Thai, boxing. So that was the occasion for me to explore and improve those areas of the fight. So that's what we were doing.
Thank you. Tom, are you over here to your left? I can't believe I just said that. Over here, hello. Are you frustrated with your run in the UFC recently, because you were finishing guys very impressively with in Europe? Have you been shocked at maybe the level or the standard of people that you're facing here?
The level is high in the UFC. We are kind of all at the same level. Just little details and mental shape does the difference during the fight. So that's what I think.
And do you think it's going to be long before you're at that stage again against these higher level guys, and maybe with emphatic finishes?
That's exactly what I'm doing. You know, the guy tonight was a really tough, high-level fighter, never been knocked out, high-level boxer. So we have to give him credit. Thank you guys, and have a good night.
Hello.
Well, it will be kind of stupid, but I have to ask you in English. But first, ja, gratulujemy. And the first question, was it hard for you to coming here in London and hearing all those boos and those crowds that were shouting, Jimmy Manua, Jimmy Manua?
No, that wasn't hard, because I like fight when the fans are very loud. I know they support Jimmy, not me, but I don't think about it. When I go to the octagon, I think only about my opponent and fight.
You were fighting 3 rounds. All those 3 rounds were very exciting. Which one of those was the most dominated by you?
I think first one because he was knocked down. It was really close to finish the fight, but Jimmy is tough opponent, tough fighter, and he stand up and go to decision. But first one I think was the best for me.
Since the last fight, was there something different in the game plan, in the way that was Jimmy Manuwa fighting with you?
Game plan was different. I had put my game on him, not take his game. So I did it. Maybe not in 100%, but 40% was my game plan.
Okay, you were planning a knockout. It was kind of close in the first round. Were you frustrated that you didn't finish that?
No, I wasn't, because I was prepared for everything, for knockout, for submission or decision, go to decision, like most of my fight, because I think I'm a decision fighter.
It's one-on-one. If Jimmy Manuwa would like to have a rematch with you, would you give it to him?
I don't have problem with that. If UFC want to do this, why not? But we will see what's going on.
For now, you are 3 wins in a row. What now for Jan Blachowicz in UFC?
Now vacation.
And right away?
I don't know. We will see. Maybe if UFC go to Russia, I would like to fight with them. But we will see.
We've got also in May UFC in Liverpool. Is it too soon for you?
Too soon.
Too soon.
Yeah. Because I have 3 fights in the really close time, so now I want to take a little bit longer break and then back to training again.
Okay. Do you already know that you've earned a new bonus?
Yeah, I know it.
Okay,
so I've got money for vacation.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Jan, you said to me earlier in the week, you said after you win, you said you were going to call someone out, but you've not done that. Come on, are there any names that you see at light heavyweight that you think would be a great fight for you?
I always say the same, Sean. I would like to fight against him because he's a legend. I think that my style and his style will make a really good fight.
You know, this is a big win for you on a big stage in the UFC. Do you think you're starting to kind of pull to the front of Polish MMA in terms of being one of the main men there?
Yeah, of course.
Before the fight, you said that you didn't watch back your first fight against Jimmy. So you trusted your coaches in terms of the game plan. What was the advice of your coaches, going into it second time round?
They tell me all the time, they scream to me from corner that more boxing, more takedowns. There wasn't too much takedown, only one, because Jimmy's have really good takedown defense, so I just can take him down only one time. That's why I say that my game only worked in 40%, but was enough to win this fight.
And Jimmy was ranked number 4 in the division. With a win over him now, where do you think that places you?
I don't know, maybe... you where you see me? Top 10. Top 10, of course.
Anybody else? Thank you, Jan.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You would have been pushing for a long time.
all very subdued in here. What's going on?
Wait for you, mate.
Someone been told off?
Apparently.
You're really out there like you're waiting for the headmaster.
Big Jan the big opportunity to go in Polish MMA.
I'm the best.
Oh, you're one of the better fighters.
You did it. Did you print any of the stuff you got him off the SW? Was good. Huh? That stuff you got him off just before me and Sandu came over the other day. You got some really good stuff about KSW. Yeah, it was really
He
good.
doesn't like talking about it.
Does he not?
Not really. He was like trying all the quotes were good quotes, but you could tell like he was like
I'm not going
a bit uncomfortable like talking about it.
Well, he started talking about his coach then.
Yeah,
We had to ring him out to ask about it. Who was the coach? And he was very strange about it.
First question? Is there any questions? Right there.
Volkov, congratulations on your win. You took out a legend in UFC London Werdum. How does that feel?
How you can feel? I feel happy, like a winner today. So it was really like hard fight for me in all sides. So from the he's really good technical sides, and it was a lot of pressure on me with this fight. So I feel not really comfortable before the fight, but now I'm feel like a winner.
When you look at your performance, what were you most happy with in the fight?
Когда ты смотришь на свое выступление, чем ты доволен больше всего?
I'm not really happy with all the fight, like how it goes. So something we can do this fight in this fight, but I'm really happy that I won, and then in finish I can fight K to Fabrizio. We use in this fight. I use in this fight not a plan A or B. I use plan C. So it was a worst plan how it can go, but Fabrizio was prepared very good to this fight, and he gave a very hard fight for me.
You trained previously with Werdum. How did that help you in terms of knowing what to expect from him, and did it play out how you expected he would perform?
I think that it helps both of us. So we was more
Cautious.
We was more cautious in the fight. I mean, we know both of us very good. He knows that I can punch very hard, and I know that he jiu-jitsu very good. It was like a smart fight for waiting of mistakes of both of us. So he waiting, I make mistakes in jiu-jitsu. I waiting him, he will make mistake in stand-up, and I just looking for this and did my job.
You said before the fight that this would be your toughest test in your career so far. How do you rank this win in terms of moments in your career?
Как ты поставишь эту победу среди всех своих побед? Какое место она занимает в твоей карьере? Я по-русски скажу, что я лучше получил это перевести. Хорошо, тогда.
It would be crushing, he will translate, it will be a little bit better. Это, ну, одна из сложных, конечно, самых сложных моих побед, но я ее прошел, и я уверен, что самые сложные мои победы, они будут впереди.
It was definitely a hard fight, one of the hardest fight, but I'm quite sure that hardest fights awaits a long way in forward for me.
And how far away do you think you are from getting a title shot?
I will be happy if it will happen in September or maybe in autumn in Russia. So in the first event in Russia. So if it will be possible and if you give me this opportunity, I will be really happy with this. If I will fight for the title shot in Russia in first event.
We've got Daniel Cormier and Stipe Miocic going to fight for the world title this summer. First of all, who are you picking to win that fight?
These guys, both guys, very good. I respect both of them. Daniel have really big history of his winning, and also Miocic is a really tough guy. He put his name and history for this moment. So for me, it doesn't matter. I will waiting for that guy who will be more stronger in this fight. So I'm just sitting, looking on this fight, waiting for one of them. It really doesn't matter, because for me, you know, the key to win just one, striking. I use striking, I work with about wrestling and jiu-jitsu a lot, but I prefer striking. I like to finish my opponent, like to find his mistake and stand up and just finish. This is really smart. You know, that doesn't matter who will win. I will use my best skills.
If you don't get the title shot next, you know, is there an opponent ahead of you right now that you think would make sense for you stylistically, whether it's in Russia or abroad?
Yeah. There was my manager, and he
Only title shot.
Yes, and we sang
Deserve.
And I think I deserve title shot right now because my win streak is four fights. I won former UFC champion. Before I won guy who won a current UFC champion. So maybe it's my time.
Any other questions? Back there.
Congratulations again. You said before the fight you were uncomfortable. I was curious if you could expand on that. Was it nerves, pressure? Was it something physical? What was it?
Ну, всегда себя немножко чувствуешь, неуверенно. I will speak Russian, sorry, but it will be better to translate because it's like a deep question. Всегда немножко себя чувствуешь неуверенно, выходя против сильнейшего оппонента, при том, что я рос в том числе и на боях Фабрицио Вердума, поэтому он для меня как бы не просто был соперником, да, но и некоторой ступенькой в моей карьере, которая бы показала, что я действительно чего-то достиг и действительно уже поднялся на этот уровень. Поэтому это больше было внутреннее ощущение, которое я никак никому старался не показывать, но оно у меня внутри было.
It's a hard question, but I try to explain that when you feel some uncertainty in a fight against person you were looking for during your youth and one of the fighters that you think one of the best in the world, and you feel that it's a real stepping stone in your career that will bring you to completely another level, you always feel some uncomfortability, but I try to hide it, and I really knew that it's most important fight in my life. That's why it was a little bit uncomfortable.
Nice, and I wanted to ask you about your emotions in the cage because you guys were both friendly, nice to each other, but as the fight was playing out, it looked like you were a little bit frustrated or angry with his strategy and the way he was acting. So, what were your emotions in there tonight?
Я думаю, что мы оба были немножко расстроены нашими стратегиями. Конечно, вряд ли думаю, что Вердум хотел со мной бороться. На самом деле, больше всего меня расстроило, что действительно пришлось Вердума добивать, да, как бы, что получилось так, что пришлось нанести несколько ударов в конце. Я надеюсь, что как бы он не такой большой урон понес с этими ударами, но это бой. К сожалению, мы должны делать его на полную, здесь не было никакого злого умысла, действительно мы как бы очень уважительно друг к другу относимся и после боя, надеюсь, будем общаться.
It was a play, we were playing with each other, getting under each other's skin, but we both were frustrated with both of our strategies. So in the end, the only thing I'm unhappy about in the fight is that I had to finish him and hit him a couple of times while he was unconscious before it was stopped. I hope he didn't receive much damage and we're still friends after this all.
Anyone else?
Thank you everybody, thank you for your questions.